He was 33 when he retired. He was part of the World Cup winning team in 2011. He was part of the team that won the Champions Trophy in England in 2013. He was part of the leadership group in the Indian team, supposed vice captain, also was talked about being the next captain potentially at one point in his career. Yet he retired when he was 33. Of course, I'm talking about Suresh Raina, the left-handed flamboyant batsman who's had a long international career, but he's one of those players that you talk about and then you say he didn't reach his potential. He was, of course, the first Indian batsman to score a century in all three formats. There was a lot going for him. He was one of those that raised the fielding standards for the Indian team. You know, you could always trust him in the field. He was also the golden arm. At one point, he could give you so many overs and even get you wickets, if not be economical. Now, according to us, there were 2 roadblocks which he just could not get through. As unfortunate as it may be, let's start off with 2013 because this is where few things started to begin. There were rumors going around that Suresh Raina does not well do with the short ball. Now, coming from India, that's a rumor you take for granted. You just assume all Indian batters struggle with the short ball, but this was the time when batters like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, they were doing well with the short ball. MS Dhoni could play the short ball. There were players going around who could pull and hook, but there was this one left-hander in the middle order who would just struggle a little bit. When Australia had come to India in 2013-14 to play an ODI series, Mitchell Johnson peppered Suresh Raina with the short ball. And Suresh Raina just couldn't play it. He was ducking, he was swaying, he was trying to play the pull shot. He got him out twice in the 4 innings that he did play in the ODI series. Now, he didn't do all that badly in that year. He had an average year. He had an average 2014, but 2015 is, according to me, when the downfall began, especially after the World Cup. In 2015, in the ODI format, he of course had a century that year, which was against Zimbabwe, but if you discount that for a second, he only averaged 25, and before he got dropped, the 10 innings before he got dropped, again, he only averaged 25. For a batter like him, for the position that he came in, he usually walked in to bat at number 5, number 6, either before Dhoni or after Dhoni. And for a batter like him, you would want a higher strike rate. Normally, you would want him to stay not out, but he was just not doing the job for the country, and he got dropped from the ODI squad. He was still here and there with the T20 setup, but even in the IPL, for that matter, in 2015, he only averaged 24. He wasn't having the best of times. Now, I'm talking a lot about averages and I'm talking a lot about his performance, but we'll get into the crux of things after just a little bit. Now, of course, Suresh Raina did get dropped from the T20 squad after the 2016-17 season, and he also did make a comeback for that matter. He went back to the domestic circuit for someone who was struggling before 2016 season. In 2018, Suresh Raina scored 3 consecutive 50s in the Syed Mushtaq Ali, and he got 126 of just 56 balls, which was very, very hopeful because you want Suresh Raina in the squad. He's so energetic. He's a team man. He will give it all the time, and he was just someone like that. He would enjoy his time playing on the field. He was like a Virat Kohli without the anger, aggression. He was just there, and he was very happening, and he would lift everyone up with his fielding, with the way he batted, with the way he would cheer his teammates. Except that did not happen. Of course, he was the man of the match in the third T20 against South Africa when he did make a comeback, but again, his downfall began. Now, I'm talking about the downfall a lot. I also mentioned the short ball problem that he had. Let's get into it a little bit, okay? Now, of course, we know that Suresh Raina had a short ball problem. You pitch it short to him, he is going to struggle. He tried various things to counter this, but before that, one of the other major issues that we think he had is just short of short. He couldn't adapt to the modern game. When players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, MS Dhoni even for that matter, when players around him were adapting their game, they were bringing out more shots in their repertoire. Suresh Raina just wouldn't, because you knew he had an inside-out shot, he had a cover drive, he had that lofted shot over mid-wicket, he could cut the ball, he could flick the ball, he had a straight drive, but at one point it seemed like it was just that. So if you cover that off and if you bowl the short ball, you knew you were getting him out. If not, he wouldn't be able to do anything. He was stuck on the crease, not able to rotate strike, not get the odd boundary that he is known for. He was one of those batters who would take off the pressure from the batting unit by hitting that odd boundary, and he stopped doing that altogether. And every time he went for his get out of the way shot, he would just get out. Now, of course, this 2015 pitch was bouncier than expected. Even Virat Kohli got out of the short ball. I mean, a lot of people remember that, but this is just to clarify certain things, right? Suresh Raina's adaptability to the short ball was as such that his trigger movement, we've talked about what a trigger movement is. We've talked about this in the MS Dhoni video. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. But his trigger movement, at least at this point, was such that he would just go back. And so he hardly had any feet movement because his weight was always on the back foot, because he became a batter who was expecting the short ball, because He knew, the world knew that he had a weakness against the short ball. Of course, he also practiced against it, but his whole setup became such a way that he would just set his whole position up to play the short ball. So any ball that was full, he wouldn't be able to move his feet because all his weight was on the back. There's a reason why modern day batters want their weight on the front foot, is because it's easier to move your front foot rather than go on the back foot and then go on the front foot. You'd rather go front and then go back because that is much easier. That is more natural to the human body. That's why you see batters like Virat Kohli who have a back and a cross movement. They end up with their weight on the front foot, and then if it's pitched short, they can go back foot. Most of the batters, if not all, want their weight on the front foot because, like I said, it's just much easier to go on the back foot after going front rather than the other way around. Except Suresh Raina was doing completely opposite. He would go on the back foot and then wait for the short ball. If it wasn't the short ball, then he would go on the front foot. This is not so prominent, but 2015 he does the same. He hits the boundary, and you can even see it in this dismissal. So his weight is on the back foot because he's still trying to land his front leg, as you can see here. And then again, there's no feet movement. Ball is short and wide. There is no feet. He doesn't go near the ball. Plays a nothing shot and gives away his wicket. And this was becoming a trend in Suresh Raina's career. This just became a thing that he used to do. He had another counter. He would walk down the leg side, make room for himself because he knew the short ball was coming up, and he'll play the pull shot. The problem with that is how much can you do it? How many times can you do it before you become predictable? How many times can you give yourself room before the bowler knows that, yeah, this is what he's going to do, because he can't stand and play the pull shot. If you see players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and the way they play the pull shot, they are on the back foot. Rohit Sharma is on the front foot. The basic idea of a pull shot, regardless of what the batter is, some people like to go on the front foot, but batters like Rohit Sharma, who are extremely talented, play the pull shot off the front foot. But the basic idea of this is you want to extend your arms as much as you can. If you want to hit it on the ground, you hit the ball from top to bottom. If you want to hit the ball in the air, you hit the ball from bottom to up. Now Suresh Raina, when he plays the short ball, he's tucked in. Like, he is so uncomfortable. He's not able to extend his arm. It feels like he's in discomfort and it's not his natural shot, which is completely fine. It doesn't need to be your natural shot, but it's something he just didn't develop as much as he should to sustain in the international arena. And as an international bowler, when you see a batter like him struggling and you know he's uncomfortable because he's not extending his arm, he's trying to push the ball away rather than hit the ball, you just know that's his weakness. So this was one of the ways he tried to maneuver the short ball and try to play a pull shot. So one of the ways Suresh Raina tried to counter the short ball was walking away from the wicket. The second way Suresh Raina thought of countering the short ball was he would go inside the line of the ball. Now, what is inside the line of the ball? When a batter like Suresh Raina, who's a left-handed batter, goes inside the line of the ball, this means that if the ball is coming straight at you, if the batter's body is on the left-hand side of the ball, you're basically inside the line of the ball. If you're making room, if you're going away, it means you're outside the line of the ball, trying to hit it over covers, trying to hit it over point on the offside. Now, when you go inside the line of the ball, you're trying to hit it on the leg side. That's the basic explanation of what inside the line means. Now, this was the second way Suresh Raina tried to counter the short ball. He would go inside the line of the ball, cover all of his wickets, and either try tucking in over fine leg or get into positions that would be a lot more comfortable to him, which was successful for a larger extent. If you're bowling short to the body, you want to go to the left hand side of the ball so you can just pad it across, tap it across, either over fine leg or square leg. You just find your body being more comfortable in that position, which is what Suresh Raina tried to do next. If not, now the third way he would counter the short ball is similar to the first, except he doesn't walk away from the wicket. His back foot is still on the crease. He clears his front foot and tries to play it because he knows that the short ball is coming or will probably come. He makes sure his back foot is still, clears his front leg, and tries to play a shot, tries to play the kind of shot that would again allow his arms to be free, extend his arms the way I told you that Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli plays the short ball, for example. As you can see, like here, his back foot is still on the crease. He clears his front foot. He's waiting for the short ball. Now, this in itself is a larger criticism, which I will get into, but let's talk about what Suresh Raina is doing to counter it in the first place, right? Now, the problem with all of this is you can see it on the next ball itself. The problem with this, the problem with him preparing for the short ball, the problem with him having his weight on the back foot, the problem with him just wanting to play the short ball comfortably is that Bowlers know this. Bowlers know what he's doing. If I can watch videos and tell you what he's doing, bowlers in the international arena with so much data and information already know this, know what Suresh Raina is going to do to counter the short ball. Now, the things he does to counter the short ball invariably means he's going to be a lot weaker on the fuller ball. Now, of course, his strength is the full balls, the on drives, the cover drives, the straight drives, but because his weight is so much on the back foot, he finds it so much more difficult to reach the pitch of the ball. And Ben Stokes does just that. As you can see, he is nowhere near the pitch of the ball. Of course, it's a half volley and you don't necessarily need to reach the pitch of the ball. He's playing on the up. But this was another trend that Suresh Raina just started doing. Because he was preparing for the short ball, he would struggle with the full length deliveries. This would also mean that as a fast bowler, you could easily just bowl a Yorker and you know that you're going to get him out. Now, we know that famous delivery by Dale Steyn against Chennai Super Kings where he bowled an absolute ripper of a Yorker and Suresh Raina got out. He was not only late on the ball but was just nowhere close. Of course, that delivery in itself, now, of course, that was a great delivery. I don't know how many batters would naturally play at it. A lot of bowlers like Dale Steyn, Rabada and fast bowlers around the world just started bowling a lot more fuller, more Yorkers into him. They just realized that if he's preparing for the short ball and if his weight is on the back foot, you can just bowl a fuller delivery and he'll give you his wicket. Now, the problem with this is that he wasn't scoring a lot of runs. Of course, he had those odd 50s and averages that were 20 and 30s, which was okay to an extent. It could help you survive, but with the competition around him and with so many young players walking into the side, it just became a lot more difficult for him to just sustain with those 20s and 30s averages. Suresh Raina is that example where he had so much potential and so much to give, except just one Achilles heel just gave his career away. It was one of those instances where a player could not adapt and could not grow while others were growing around him. It was one of those examples why he just couldn't keep up. It's unfortunate, but it's also true. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you haven't checked out our socials, go into our description, go in the links, follow us, tell us what you think of these videos. If you like stuff like this, let us know. We'll make more of this. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.